Hello friends, before I get started this breakdown video, I would like to mention that these assets are not modeled by me. I just downloaded them from all of the places like CG Traders, ArtStation, TurboSquid, Sketchpad, and I just collected them in my asset folder and using them as per my need. Thank you. Let's break down this shot, and I'll try to keep everything detailed as possible and try to explain every single thought process or plan or the fundamental ideas that I used. First thing first, I just don't wanted to keep like anything more technical, and I'm more focused on keeping the composition and mood and look, and try to keep my shot cinematic looking, and that was the main goal for it. So before any delay, just get into this shot. I'll open my Blender file and start explaining about it. So the main goal was to keep the curve, as we all knew that we have to maintain the visual weight in the scene. So I started dumping some of the rock element or floor element I had to bring that curve in the floor. So if I click and see that, um, the first thing I added into this shot is this rock. Um, and then I just copy pasted them or created instances to keep my file little light. And after creating this whole platform in the FG, I started adding some small details that initially I didn't think about adding any small details because I was just focused on creating some concept. And then these characters, animated characters, are rigged from Mixamo. This is one of the character I purchased from CG Traders long ago. This is the same character I used for Kinetic Rush challenge as well. Some minor changes in the shading for their clothes, and a few of them are like only 60 frame animation. That's why I kept them in like first or last frames. This guy, if you see this is going out of the frame in few frames, so just to hide his slow animation. And these some assets are from Cyberpunk pack I had purchased from ArtStation few days back. And some of these are from CG Traders. Some I think this robot here, this animated robot, is a free model from Sketchweb, and which is really good. I mean, I really liked it and I wanted to use it in my shot, and I just placed it just to see, since it has solar panels and some machines here, just to give an impression that it's kind of like source of an energy, a kind of thing. And I dumped some of the extra details in the scene. They are not completely visible in the scene, but they contribute some small details as shadowing or bounce in the shot. So that was my FG. Then after that, um, I have this uh, midground here, which is slightly below from the FG, but it brings a lot of depth because it wasn't there in the initial stage. I just created background after the FG, but then the whole space was too empty. And then I started adding some pillars or something, but that was looking not good. Since we have a lot of sci-fi thing going on here, I just added it here and I added some animated characters on top just to bring some life in the background or midground. Then same goes to the screen right area, which was still empty. This was the main character I wanted to see in the shot and these pillars. But since if I add something here, then this character is going to be hidden behind that. So that's the reason I was trying to keep less object here. But then in the end, I thought of adding, let me just make it color. In the end, I just added one more detail here, like this layer. It helped me a lot to just give some more depth. Since it wasn't hiding any of this detail here, I kept it till the end. Then after that, there is this ship and this object. and there is this cloth simulation happening, which is very simple. Cloth simulation I done in Blender. Um, it was quite heavy with more polygons, so I just created it in different file and baked it and used it here as an asset. Um, then there is one more spaceship here in this corner, which was empty before. Then I thought this space was looking really empty, so this area was empty. So I tried to add some more detail in that area. If you see the last frame, you can see that spaceship or landing ship more clearly. Then I added more BG details. Let me turn off these overlays. The main goal was like I just wanted to see shot more dramatic, even in the grayscale, or just the layout should look more better, which will bring more depth in the shot. That was my idea before. And there are some other details I wanted to add, like the small clothes flying in the shot. So these things, these are from Cascade. I don't exactly remember the name. I can post the link in the description. And then there are some other stuff like this. These are not like very big visible things in the shot, but they contribute a lot because they are moving throughout the shot and give some more life to the background. And then I have some moving object or characters in the back here behind the statue. There are some more lights. They are contributing a lot in the scene because the whole shot here is in dark, and these lights creates a lot of sense of depth and some detail in the scene. And there are like small character, I mean not small, this is in the background, so they look small, but they are all the same size. So these characters in the background, just a tiny detail. I didn't add more detail in their hands or something because it's not visible, but just the moment. And same goes here as well. There is one character standing in front of this broken statue, and there is one more structure here, like um stage or something. Some work is going on, some energy plant is there, some exploration thing is going on, just to give the hint that something is happening down there. And there are some spotlights just to give some light on the haze area, like under this cloth and this big object. And I think that's all. I did then adding these extra steps helped me a lot. um, there is a roof. This one I just kept the visibility off because it was easy to just see through the shot, but this one is like blocker. I don't want it to get any light directly in onto these characters or on these total objects. So I just kept the opening here and tried to keep my light go through this passage, which I will show you later how what was the plan of creating that kind of light. And there are some extra lights as well, just to mimic the uh, like gobo lighting in the scene. If you see this render, you can see that these extra lights uh, are not achievable because I wasn't uh, holding out any of the roof to bring this light inside. So these are like extra fake lights to mimic the like gobo lighting in the scene. It sounds quite easy, but while planning, I was like, I started from big stuff like these pillars and these pillars, and then ended up with added small details in the shots, and then some animated stuffs like this, and these characters, smoke or dust or drone, and then some compositing thing. I mean, I always begin by blocking out the main shapes in the scene. This gives me more foundation to build on and helps to see my composition is working early on. Before adding details, I make sure that layout follows a strong design principles like rule of third or leading lines to guide the viewer's eyes naturally, because that's the main point here. I wanted to create the cinematic scene, and that was the whole idea. I think of my scene is layers like foreground, midground, and background. This helps to create depth and make composition feel more like cinematic. One trick I like to use is quickly switching to black and white viewport. If the composition still reads well without colors, I think that's the strongest thing in the scene. That helps a lot in the end. And then I think that's it. We should go to the lighting part now. So this was the basic look of the shot with the skylight with all the default values. Initially, I tried to play with the rotation and the elevation first. Rotation was somewhere around 90 and elevation was something like 35. So if I keep those values and show you like it was something like this, and the rotation was like almost 90 degree I kept, and see uh, I think it was minus 90. Yeah, it was negative 90 degrees. So if I just see it like this, it was something too bright before. The main idea was to keep this bright is because of this ship. I just wanted to read it more clearly, but due to that, my whole shot was too lit, and I really did not like that look. I like the pillar look, but whole scene was getting too lit, and I am somehow losing the depth in the scene. So then I just started playing around these values and checked which one looked good, and I ended up somewhere around. I kept the intensity too high. I kept it something like 36, 36.1 or something. I just saved these values for this breakdown video. I kept these minus 90, negative 94.8, and this air value I kept it like very less, somewhere like this, just because I just wanted to make it little uh, cool tones in the highlights. And stunt really didn't matter because my look was already final, and um, when I did single frame look dev in comp, that time the values were 0.7, so I did not change it and kept it like 0.7, 0.7, and it really doesn't make any big change in the scene. And I also played with the mist values. So if I go to the view and get the mist, you can see that it's all depends on the depth in your shot. Since this shot, it's all depends on how long your scene is built. These values were good for me. So by default, there's something different, but I just played with these settings, the values, and then I figured out that this value was looking a little better for me. So I just kept it like this and got my mist pass as well. Let's go to the combined view. So this was the main look. But if you see this now, you don't really read any of this ship or this hanging object or any of the FG part properly. It's all dark and we hardly read it. And to solve that, I just added some extra lights to mimic the effect of some of the lights is passing through the ceiling or somewhere, and our FG is readable. And in the end, I knew that I'm going to add some mist pass in the comp, and that can help me to get more readable in the FG and the background. So that was the whole idea. If I just rotate the shot and show you, you can see the shot is too bright from outside. It's extremely bright, and the main motto was to pass this light from this entry and get the bounce light as much as possible and read other parts in the shot, and that was really went well with these high values like 7 in the intensity and strength like somewhere around 0.5 to 7. There's like small lights as well. If I show you, like you can't really read the tunnel inside here, so I have added some extra lights in the BG setup, so there are some extra layering. Let me open that and show you. Okay, I turned this off for now for this breakdown video. So if you see, these are the light probes. You can see the small dots everywhere and some lights. So if I just turn on and off, you can see, you can see here. So though that was the idea. If I turn the scene fog, you can see it's totally blocking everything. Since I have kept this layer separately, I can get more control in compositing. And also same thing happens with all the VDBs, like landing dust, under the drone, and some volumetrics also I played with. Like if you see this light, it is just the comp reference for me to where to add the smoke or debris or any readable particles in the shot to make it uh, uh, to differentiate the shot between FG and BG. Yeah, and there's nothing much to explain here in this shot because it's all straightforward. Most of the part is like it's like just add your light, just check if it fits well in your concept or looking well in the scene. Just go with that. And it took like 4 to 5 hours to decide lighting angles. I also did one another um, pass before and I didn't like that. I deleted that and then started from the scratch again. It went like 3 times, and third time I just got the final values for this lighting as you see here. Okay, I think this is all about the lighting setup. I just don't. The main idea was like I knew that lighting is one of the most powerful tool, right? So harsh light and shadow can make the scene more dramatic and brings more tension in the shot. So basically, I was like, I don't wanted to keep everything so diffuse. I just wanted to make shot look more intense. So I just tried to add some directional light and see how it looked, and it didn't well. So I just I just used this skylight and played with the values. And other main thing I always consider is where my light source is coming from. A strong backlight can create a cinematic rim effect, while a soft overhead light can feel more natural and diffused, which I really didn't like in this shot. And I try to keep more harsh light from one side and read some the black shapes and read some white shapes like that. Read some roundity in the pillars, some hard shapes on the corners of every single sharp edged object. So that was the whole basic idea, like cinematic and artistic lighting approach. Instead of going for flat even lighting, I like create contrast, like light against the dark or warm against the cool. This add more depth in the realism. If I have like street light in my scene, I make sure it's actually casting believable light. So the same idea, if I have the sunlight like so strong, then it should bounce so many lights in the scene, which actually working fine here because of the high values. And I think this is enough for the lighting setup here. I need to show how I took all these renders. So if I just turn off the layers and start showing you the layers, then you might understand what layering I did. So let's go with the foreground first. So this is the one layer I got. Then let's go. This is second layer. Let's go to third. This is third one. And similarly, I got this as a separate layer because I wanted to add more mist or some other particles around it. Like when it's coming up, that some of the mist is moving because of the big ship like this. And then the landing ship here, just ignore these things because these are not visible in the render. They are just in the viewport. These are the controllers for the this landing ship. And the I just divided background layer in 2 layers because it is too heavy, and also it helps me to do some comp cheats like adding some extra details, making shot look more dusty or something like that, which I can show you in um, Nuke script. And this is dust under the landing ship, and this is drone VDB, which is in the FG. And I also played with some of the volumetric lights like this. I just used them in comp to bring some depth in between the extreme BG wall and the midground. And this is the whole fog details in the shot, which is too bright now, but if you see it in the comp, it is like very less, and I used some of the areas to bring some sense of depth. So this is it, guys. I think I need to jump to the Nuke file and show you how I started combining those elements and all those basic Nuke or compositing techniques. Okay, here comes the compositing part, which is very interesting for me. Let me walk you through the process of evolving this into this, and let me break down how I used all these EXR passes. And here's the Blender setting I used to get these EXRs. You can see this here. So EXR is like it processes a lot of 3D rendering data, and it's like high dynamic range it has in it. And if you just see that this is not just one pass, it has some more information in it. So I always use the OpenEXR format for the render. And if you just see my all the layers, it just look like this, saturated and more contrasty. And this is what the comp output is. And let me break down this step by step. I used color settings in Nuke as this OCIO, and this is just normal default settings. By default it's set on Nuke. I turned it to OCIO, and then when I turn it to OCIO, you can see it's more reddish. So use this OCIO color space node and then use these settings. So you can see it's not red or too saturated. There are some couple of comp grading I done because you can't really see any light or mid-level details in the compositing. So I have started doing some comp tweaks here by using gradient maskings. You can see that you are reading more in the blacks here. Since this area was too orangish or warm, I wanted to make it look little bluish. So this is the comp tweak like that. So these are like multiple, these are not technical based stuff, but just to make visually good looking shot. I also added some rim light to the main statue here. So for that I used one of my CG pass, which is normal, and masked it into this matte of this character statue, and just did some overall grading on top of this, just to get that interaction with this light. And also I wanted to make it a bit brighter to fit into shot. Some more color tweaks, and as I was telling you that I have added some light probes here. I wanted to give more interaction surrounding it, so I took this pass and just added it here. If I just turn on and up, you can see that it's giving a more interaction light surrounding these light probes. I also added some glow on top of everything. This is one more interaction light. When light blinks here, these interact with the blinking light to get that red light information on the walls and surrounding areas. Some more glow to this is really important thing to add. If you have like any lights like this, try to add some glow to bring that lensing effect, because lens always captures some of the glow surrounding these kind of lights. Use some 2D elements here like this, some mist pass, some 2D elements, and just to give more hazy feel in some of the corners. I have this very bright looking light here. I just wanted to keep it, but I also wanted some rays hitting on that. So as I told before, that this area was looking too empty, so I added this spaceship, landing ship here, and then there's some small color grade on that, and this is the dust under that landing ship, which is too bright at the moment, so I did some grading on that and blended that blends well in the scene. If I don't do that, then you can see it looks too brighter in some of the areas, because I killed the light in this area in the BG. There is one grading I did. So this is the grading I did it because I don't want it to see this bright looking patch here. Since I really like the bounce light causing it here because of this, but it is too bright, I just killed that area and kept the bounce light here, which is technically wrong, but it makes the shot look better. So I just wanted to keep that. And same thing I have done is I done with the dust as well. Dust is also interacting more with that area, so I just reduce the light from there. If I just on and off, you can see it's too bright, but right now it's completely gone. And then comes the ship. This was too dark. I did some grading to make it more visible. I added some lights here, like this. If you see, there was no light. I wanted to add some light blinks, so it is just simple comp technique. Just masked in. I did some paint strokes. If I just drop paint, you can see that light. Since it's transformed and I relocated it, it's not drawing in the same time. But if I just do it directly, it may it will be easy for that time. But since it's already fixed here, you can't exactly see the location. So this is very simple technique. Soon I'm going to try one complete scene in Blender, and I will take it into Nuke and create some cinematic looking shot, and I'm going to create some tutorials on that. Then comes the CG fog. So if I see that CG fog, it's looking very less here. It's like reading very less. If you see this, it's too bright, and but I don't want to read it like this. I just did some comp grading and some comp treatment. Like I don't want it to see it very sharp. I just blurred it a bit, and also some other comp tweaks. And if you see that value is like very less, I just kept it like 0.5 here. If I kept it 1, it looks too hazy. And again, I took some roto mask and I added it on top again and used only in few areas, like in this screen left corner, which looked really nice. And then I took it again. I just did some grading overall. I made it blue, and then started using it in dark areas like this. If I just see this, I wanted to show this hole, so I just used it here. Since it's looking too sharp now, I took it again and then blurred it and overlapped it again, make it little diffuse overall to show that it has some dusty atmosphere in this area. Then this is EV pass I did not render it in cycles because cycles is too noisy. It's the same setting I showed earlier in Blender, and just rendered it in EV and did some color grading also for that. And same, it goes like this. I don't wanted to keep it overall. I just used it in some areas like this. And if I just show you, you can see that it's reading more here. So just on and off, you can see that it's contributing a lot in this scene like this. Like I don't wanted to make it too dark. I wanted to read some of the silhouette shapes, so I just used them there. And if you see this spotlight, it's looking too pointed. Light is not exactly coming from the whole panel here. I did some volume raise, some comp glow techniques, and then added it on top of that, so it looks not cut out or sharp. And that's the reason I made this bluish here. I don't want it to keep it warm because these has some bluish lights here. And if I just turn that on and off, you can understand that color grading. It's quite yeah. So if you see that, it helps a lot. These are the comp techniques. These are like very easy ones, but gives a lot to the shot. Even if I turn on and off these things, you can understand what exactly they're contributing. Okay, and then I think which is next, we missed. I did some overall grading. Then comes this area, Midground. I just see it's too dark. I did some color grading. It's become bright here. I added some 2D smoke. This smoke helps a lot to read the FG really well, because if I just go and see, there are some other layers as well for the smoke. One more layer, and then if I add this kind of BG shapes and then overall BG, and if you turn this on and off, it's quite heavy. So this helps a lot. This edge, smoke edge, it looks really good. Okay, then comes this part. Same for this as well. I did some color grading. If I just turn this on and off, you can see it's too dark here. I did some the characters were too dark, so I took character matte and then graded them a bit to make them visible, and then some light glow effect here. And then overall haziness to blend in well in the shot. And these are some light interactions. So if you see that it is totally off, if I just see this and if I just turn this on, it's just simple comp technique. I did took this lights, masked it in, added some glow, one more glow, second glow. This is very less, you can see it here, and this is third glow, and added everything on top. If I just turn on it off, you can see, and this is like a key. So if you just play it, you will see it like it's on and off throughout the shot. To get the interaction with these lights, I have added some comp grading here. Let me show you that. So if you see that it's getting on and off, even if I do it here, you'll see. So this is helps a lot. And then some overall grading again. And then I have this 2D particle comp element. I use this just in shot overall. It looks really good. Shot doesn't look empty or dead. So that you can see there are small details, this kind of details in the shot, air fizz. And then comes the FG part. So for FG, this is like this. I just used multiple renders because there was no time to render all the area. I just rendered in region and overlapped it. There is drone dust. See this drone dust here, and then drone, and there is one MGFX. MGFX means hologram render. This is done in compositing. If you see my final render, you can see there is this hologram happening. I just wanted to mimic this solar panel animation into the screen to show that this is some processes going on the monitor. I don't want it to keep it very empty or static. That's the reason I created that. Let me show you that file. So this is done in comp hologram effect. So for that, I just took a roto, and if I play it, you can see this roto shapes are animating like this simple roto, and then I just use them in multiple ways. Then I took the edge, I did some grading on top, I added some glow, and if I play it now, you can see it's some kind of loading thing, and then it's animating. It's simple animation. And then I tracked it, projected it on the screen, and you can see it here, and that comes like this. So if you play it, you can see, and same goes to mobile screen as well. I took one more pass and added it in his hand. There is one character, he's walking with the device in his hand, so this is just a hologram. So few more comp gradings overall here, and there is some ground interaction. If I go to the frame 1117, this light, I did the same thing as other lights. I took that red light and added some glow and effects, just a little bit glow and some animation on that to turn it on and off throughout the shot. So it will be like this by end. I did the same ground interaction using some renders. And then I have some extra volume pass from Blender. It is simple tube in Blender, but it looks very sharp and cut out. So what I did is I just took it, I used some roto nodes, roto shapes to create some shapes inside it, and did some color grading. Since it looks too flat from top to bottom, I did some grading and added it on top here, and I just overlapped it in comp just in front of this thing to give the depth from this point to far PG. And same, I have one more render pass from Blender. I took some areas of that and I just used a touch in that entry area just to give that hazy feel. And this is some thruster I did here, but it's not visible from this angle. It just gives a little hint of that, so it really not visible. So just on and off, you can see it gives a touch of hazy or a heat haze kind of feel. Then there is one more particle 2D render I had. I just scaled it down in the corner. If I just bright it, I can see, and then use it like multiple times and made it bigger looking, and added it in the rays area. So if you see this rays, I added one more ray here, and same, and it goes some particles. If I just use grade and brighten it, you can see there are particles in this area. Let me delete that. Okay. There is one element I had. So this is one of the element which is from Action VFX. So it's like a smoke puff or something. I used this to get this feel when spaceship is moving up, some element is interacting, some dust is interacting with this. So this helped me a lot too. And I also made some brightness read more well in the rays area. So let's go to frame 113 and show you what is that exactly. So if I just turn this grades on and off, you can see it's too bright in some areas and less in some other areas. I just took this rays, I keyed it, and I used that as a mask to grade that smoke in that area, specifically in that area. Okay, then just turn it on and off, you can see more 2D smoke, more smoke. This is mist again. I just used it in some areas like this, and if I turn this on and off, you can see the changes. So because this is like very hard light here, I wanted to create some bounce in the mist area. I mean, since this light is too bright, assuming that there is some atmos thing around it, so that should create some kind of hazy feel on the brighter, surround the brighter areas. I just wanted to create this, and it helps a lot to remove those sharp looking areas. And then I have few other comp elements. I used it on top, just like there is some moving element from screen left to screen right in extreme FG. More snow particles I used, like there's like small particles falling down. These are like snow particles, but they doesn't look like snow because of the color I made. Some dust falling effect. So if you see this, this is element I used in multiple areas, like this. There's some falling dust on this cloth and some this area, and also some of these ceilings and pillars. So you can see. So that's the simple idea. I just dragged them, projected them on top. I don't wanted to keep them very big, because if you keep them big, the shot, it will kill the scale of the shot. And then overall lensing effect, if you see that now, if I turn this on and off, you can see all the edges getting a little blurred, because I don't want to keep it very sharp. It's to create that lensing feels around the edges. Also some some overall color grading. If I just zoom it in and show you, so I just try to keep some blues in the darks and warmth or orange feel in the brighter areas, and some vignetting and some overall grading on top again, and chromatic aberration. When lens, you wanted to create the lens effect, then please remember that chromatic aberration helps a lot to get that green and reddish on the edges. So you can see that it gives an effect like that. And overall camera shake, and I did some lensing stuff again. So if I zoom it in and show you that I did some sharpening here, some sharpen is going on. It's very tiny, but it helps a lot. And overall grading, and I also added some grain effect here. See this grain, it makes a lot of changes in the shot when I add grain. I don't want it to keep it very crisp. And this light, I was somehow losing this light here, So I just took some this light and added on top of everything. This helps a lot. And that's it. This is my comp output in the end. So again, the basic idea was to keep everything simple, clean, and cinematic looking, and some lensing effect. I always talk about the lensing effect because that helps to make shot look really good and less CG. So soon I'm going to make some more videos on this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please let me know if you have any questions, or also if you have like any suggestions for me to improve my video tutorials. Since this is my first time, I wasn't really clear how to talk, so I'm going to improve that, but hopefully you guys understood every single point I have mentioned in this video. Thanks guys, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.